Hey there, this is Brian from financenerd.net. Right now I'm going to show you how to find um, financial reports for publicly traded companies. So there are lots of ways you can get these from independent research providers. You can get them from, if you have a retail brokerage account, you can get them there. There are typically links when you go and look at research for an individual company. You'll be able to see the SEC filings. Now, the way I like to do it is directly from the SEC. Just go to SEC.gov online, and at the top of their website they have a link to company filings right here. So click on company filings, and that will take you to the EDGAR database. So access to 20 million filings. So every publicly traded company in the US that's listed on US exchanges will have their financial reports, annual reports, quarterly state reports, things like that will all be here. So the way I like to do it is just to typically know the symbol of the ticker symbol of the company that I'm looking for. So let's look at JCPenney. And what you'll see is a big long list of all of the filings that JCPenney has submitted for years and years and years. So you can go see these 40 filings at a time. So what you're typically going to be looking for when you're looking at financial reports is filing 10Q, which is a quarterly report that's required, or the 10K, which is the annual report. And so the 10K is going to include a lot of financial information. Typically it's reported in yearly observations, where a 10Q is going to report quarterly observations. So if there are a couple of ways to get the data. One way to get the data is to click on this interactive data button, and it will pull up tables with financial statements and other documents. So if you want to see the income statement, you can see that right here. So this goes back for the last 3 years. They typically, so for the 12 months ended on this date, and this date, over the last 3 years, these are their this total net sales or expenses. You can look at comprehensive income, you can look at balance sheet, and all of that information is very handy. One way to get all of this data into Excel to continue to work with it and build financial models and things, rather than copying and pasting these tables that who knows how they're going to paste into a spreadsheet, you just click on View Excel Document right here, and that will create a spreadsheet with all of the information in it. So typically enable editing, and that will basically give you a document you can work with. So along the bottom here you can see all of these statements are segregated into different items. So this is the income statement, comprehensive income, balance sheet, and so on. And there, if you scroll across in Excel, you'll see tons of different files or worksheets to look at here. So there are dozens and dozens for a company of this size. So you can go through and start to either copy and paste this into your own financial model, or you can just start to modify and manipulate this data to do what you want to do. If you want to start looking at trends, if you want to start looking at how they're handling their financial transactions, you can do that. So that's a really good way to do it. I'll show you also a neat trick for finding information that's not typically reported in statements like this, like in a balance sheet or an income statement. So let's go back to that JCPenney 10K. So we'll click on, rather than clicking on interactive data, we'll click on documents in that filing. So these are all the documents that were included in JCPenney's annual report filing. So they've got some logos and things like that, but you want to look for the document that says 10K on it. And you just click on this link here. It pulls up a really simple, basically an HTML document with a lot of information in it. So these are typically dozens, if not hundreds of pages of information, including tables and graphs and lots of data. So typically when you're looking at an annual report, if you're an equity analyst, you're gonna go through this stuff. But if you're just a casual researcher, you're not going to want to read the entire report. But say you're interested in how JCPenney is doing as a company. One thing you could look at is maybe square footage of stores. So square footage of retail stores that they're operating. Rather than just read through this document one line at a time, the search or the find function in a browser is really handy. So what I do is just do Control F and then type in square footage. This is going to save you a ton of time. So we know that there were 4 in this document. There were 4 instances where the phrase square footage was used. So then I can see automatically on page 16 of their annual report, we have a table that shows us the square footage, and it shows us the facility and location of the facility. So they've got retail stores in all of these locations over here, and it shows the square footage. So that's pretty cool. They've got I assume this is in thousands or something. Yeah, in thousands, square footage in thousands. So they had 14 million square feet of operating square footage in their stores. So that's pretty cool. Now we can go see what happened in the second instance of this word. So they've got this explanation here, and another table showing the number of department stores, and the square footage of the department stores. So you can see over time they have been operating less and less. They break it down to sales per gross square foot or sales per net selling square foot. And sales have dropped dramatically from 2009 to 2013, from 206 down to 147. So that's a really quick way to see that JCPenney has really struggled to continue to get sales per square foot. Now, if I had gone through and read this, it would have taken me a while. This is page 22, so it would have taken me a little while to get to that part of the annual report and see that. You can do this for any company. Just go through, if you want to find a table for some technology hardware company, Hewlett Packard or Cisco or something, you can go into their annual reports and put in a keyword that's relevant and find tables typically with lots of data, and then I can take this table here and copy it and paste that into Excel and start to manipulate the data. It's a great way to build financial models, great way to learn about companies and see how they're doing. So that's how really good way to get financial statements and financial information from SEC.gov, from their EDGAR database, and use it in your financial modeling. So thanks for watching.